What's going on, people? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mordzs. Listen, it's day one, January the 1st. Hopefully this actually comes out today because I'm filming this on January 1st in the morning. I should have filmed this last night, to be fair, but I was a bit busy. It's a new year, new content. We're going to do things differently. We're going to do things better this year. Yeah, we're going to be consistent. I've got some goals that I want to achieve by the end of the year, sub goals, follower goals, views goals, and all that kind of stuff. But I just want to see progress on this channel, and I want you people to help. Because at the end of the day, like, I can't view it 100,000 times myself. You know what I'm saying? I can't subscribe 10,000 times myself. So end of the day, I need you guys to be that support system to let me know, what do you want to see? What do you want to see in this channel? Do you like the long form videos? Do you like the short form videos? Do you like the more in-depth videos where, like, I'm talking about the history about certain things? Do you like it when I talk about current topics, current footballing topics, basketball topics? Do you want to see like match previews? Do you want to see match takeaways after the game? You want to see my instant reaction? Let me know in the comments. Let me know, DM me or whatever. If you've got me on socials, I'll put my socials in somewhere here in it, but let me know, because like I said, I can't do this by myself. So I'm gonna need you guys to be, you're part of the channel. So anyway, let's get locked into today's video. Today's video, I'm gonna talk about the current state of United. Now, I know I've not uploaded in a while. That's because I've been away. I was in Ghana for about just under 3 weeks. In fact, you want me to talk about, different kind of things outside of football as well, let me know as well. I might do some videos, some real life videos, doing different things, outside of like football, basketball, sports. So let me know you want to see that as well. But since I've been gone, United have been terrible. I'll be honest. United have been terrible. So today I'm kind of just gonna talk, like, just free flow talking, because I was gonna write down a bunch of notes, but it's just, there's too many things to talk about. Like, there's too many things for me to say. And you probably have heard everything already, but I'm kind of gonna talk from my point of view as a United fan on how I think the current state of United is. Now, look, I'm gonna start off at the top, and that is the owners, the Glazers, the Glazers. They're still there. Let's not forget the Glazers are still there. But Ineos as well. Since Ineos came in, everybody kind of wanted that refresh of ownership, because let's be honest, the Glazers, since they've been in, the whole them getting us into debt, etc., it was deflating as a United fan, because he wants to protest all the time. He wants to complain and be in the stadium chanting Glazers out. It gets depressing. It gets like, I don't want to do that every single week going to matches. It's boring. It gets boring after a while. So when Ineos came in, it was kind of like, okay, yeah, this is a nice little refresh. Let's see what they can do. They didn't have any experience managing a club of this level. To manage a club at this level, you got to be managing Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Real Madrid. You got to be managing that level, or owning that level of a club. So it was going to be new for them, as well as it being new for any manager or any player that comes into the club. Now, looking back over the last however long they've been in, year or so that they've been in, I feel like there's been more negatives than positives with Ineos. In terms of like management, I mean, they've already fired one manager who, I feel like they managed Ten Hag's, or the end of Ten Hag's Man United career, terribly. Absolutely terribly. Yes, we won a trophy, but you kept a manager into the next season. You spent a whole load of money, giving him a bunch of players, pretty much gave him your word to say, you know what, we're going to give you one last opportunity. But you knew the whole time that all it's going to take is a bad run of form of about how many games was it? 7 games? 5, 6, 7 games? And you were going to fire him. If that's all it was going to take for Ten Hag to get fired, why did you keep him? What did you think after the end of last season, it was going to take in the space of 7 games, we were going to be a different team? It makes no sense at all. You knew already you were going to fire him, because you were interviewing a whole bunch of other managers before he even got fired. So you already had that in your head, that there's a whole bunch of candidates that we're thinking about and speaking to, including Amorim. You spoke to Amorim before Ten Hag got fired. You had that conversation. It might have been a surprise to us as United fans that you became manager, but for you, you knew that was going to happen. So if you knew that you had a manager like Amorim, you obviously spoke to Amorim about his philosophy and his system and the plays that he wanted. These are not going to be uncomfortable conversations before Ten Hag gets fired. it's very, very likely that Ineos spoke to Amorim about who he likes in the club, the players that he likes, and the kind of profile of players that he wants. So why on earth did you go out and spend a whole bunch of money, hundreds of millions of pounds, on players that were just not good enough and did not fit the system that Amorim wanted? Because now we're in a very difficult position because Amorim's trying his hardest to implement this system into United, but the players just cannot fulfill it one tiny bit. Like, we are struggling so hard. I say we, the players are struggling so hard to hit the standards that Amorim wants. And that's because most of them are just not good enough. But bringing it back to Ineos, I think that's the first reason why I feel like they've had absolutely poor planning, poor organisation in terms of how to manage the club. You've wasted a lot of money. And now, and this is my second reason, now you've decided to cut a whole load of money. No, let me not even... This is the one thing that actually gets on my nerves the most, if I'm being honest. Ineos, you're a multi-billion pound, multi-billion dollar company. Sir Jim Ratcliffe is a billionaire. He probably makes in a day what some of these footballers make in a week. He probably makes in an hour what some of these staff members that he's been firing make in a year. How can you justify, as a billionaire, if you want to save money for your company, you start from the bottom? How does that make sense? Maybe I'm not that high. I'm not a billionaire. I don't earn that amount of money, obviously. But I can't understand how somebody can claim to love a club so much. This be your favorite club. This is, you bought the club, not just because, of a business venture, but because this is your favorite club. It's the club that you love. But you come in and your methods of saving money is by cutting out all the people who desperately need the money the most. They fired, I think, over 250 staff members. They stopped Christmas parties. How much does it cost for a Christmas party? What, a couple grand? A couple grand for a Christmas party, and you decided, you know what, we need to buy some players in the summer, so we need that couple grand. A couple grand for, what, £30 million player? Is that what you desperately needed, that extra 40k that you cut as a reward for some of the staff members? You had to cut the weekly reward for the stewards. You had to cut, what else did they cut? Some of the United Foundation funding, just so we can go and spend £50 million on a player that you didn't even want, that we didn't even need. To me, I can't understand how that works. I can't justify doing that. And maybe that's because I'm not a billionaire, and those guys are at that level. They are that rich, and maybe that's how they got to that level. But to me, I can't see why or how that works and how that makes sense. And it doesn't help that the decisions that they're making isn't making the team better. They've not made United any better. In fact, we've got way considerably worse since Ineos have come in. Considerably worse. Like, Ten Hag was not this bad. We were not, like, Ten Hag this point last season, we were not this bad. Like, we were not at this point. Not to say that Amorim's the reason or whatever, but when Ineos came in, we were not at this point. We were bad. We were very, very bad, but we were not at this point. I don't know if we can win the next game. I don't know what the next win's going to come from. I couldn't tell you. So, Ineos, I beg, please, like, I'm speaking to you guys. If you're, sorry, bro, I'm speaking to you guys. If you're watching this, you might not be, but if you are, make sure this works, Make sure this works. Make sure all those people that you fired, who have to now go and find new jobs and are going to struggle to pay rent, pay bills, etc., make sure all these cuts that you've made have been worth it. Now, let's look on the actual pitch. Let's look at the players. I said it before, the quality of the players are not good enough to take us where we want to go. I don't even know if the quality of the players are good enough for us to even be where we're at right now. We might need better players to get us out of this relegation battle. Like, I don't even know if the players right now are good enough for a top half battle. That's how poor the players look right now. And look, I do think it is a form thing rather than an ability thing. Because one of the points that I made on the United stand, if you don't know, I'm on the United stand a lot. But one of the points that I made was, It's very easy for players' standard and a player's ability to drop drastically when they're playing in a bad team, in a bad environment. Very, very easily. And I look at a lot of the top players that have come to United, and before they were at United were either very, very good, or after they left United have gone on to achieve great things. Look at someone like Di Maria. Came to United, he was all right, was in a bad environment. Whatever you want to say about him as a player, it is what it is. But he ended up leaving, and now he's got a whole World Cup and Champions Leagues to his name. Look at Pogba. Before he came to United, golden boy, amazing, one of the best talents of this generation. Came to United, bad environment, bad team for the most part, terrible ending. I don't know what he's doing now. I have no idea what he's doing now. Look at Ronaldo. Ronaldo at Juventus was banging in goals for fun. Like, he's breaking records at Juventus. That's how good Ronaldo was over there. Yeah, they didn't win a Champions League or whatever, but he was playing well. Came to United, scored 18 goals in the league, 23 goals all comps. Didn't end well. Bad environment, bad team for the most part. When we look back in hindsight, team wasn't the greatest. Ended up leaving, and now look, he's still banging in goals in Saudi Arabia. But whilst he was here, he didn't look like the best form of himself at all. Other players, look at someone like Lukaku. Before United, banging in goals. Came to United, yeah, he had a spell of where he was scoring a lot of goals. Ended very badly. Bad environment, bad team, left. Ended up in a Champions League final. Look at Sancho. Before United, Dortmund, banging in goals. One of the best young players in the world. Came to United, bad environment. Everything goes absolute tits up, and then what happens? Leaves, ends up in the Champions League final. I could keep going over and over and over again. De Gea, poor at United for the last couple of years, left. Now he's one of the best keepers in Syria. Look at Martial. Ended United poorly. Yeah, he had injuries and whatnot, but let's be honest, I can't remember the last time Martial was really balling like for United on a consistent level. Left, and now he's banging in goals. Again, I could keep going. There's so many players that have come to United, and whilst they've been here, have struggled a lot. And when they've left, or even before they came, they were balling out. I don't think that's a coincidence. And the reason why I'm saying that is, it's very easy to look at the players that we have right now in the team and to say they're not good enough, they're not good players, they're this, they're that. But take into consideration, they are all in the same bad environment. The same way all those other players that I mentioned were in a bad environment and they couldn't play to the level that they should be able to play at. It's the same way how a lot of the players who are there now are also going to struggle. Look, I'm telling you now, a player like Rashford, right now, I don't think he'll ever hit the heights that he should be able to reach at United. But if he was to leave, I'll be honest, it doesn't matter where he goes, he is going to play 100 times better than he would play at United. 100 times better. Because the ability is still there, but it's the environment that is causing him to play bad. Someone else like Dalot. Dalot's having a terrible season for his standard. A terrible season. If we were to go sell Dalot this summer, I'm telling you now, he will go somewhere else and he will play 100 times better than he's playing right now. I can even imagine Anthony leaving United, going to another team and balling out. It's the environment that we're in. That's what needs to change. That's the current state of United. That's the title of this video, the current state of United. The state of United right now is causing our players to play so far under their ability, so far below how good they should be. And it makes it so difficult to really understand how good our players can be because of how poor the environment is. Now, I don't know how to change that. I'll be honest. I don't know how to change that. It starts from the top, I guess. Ineos needs to bring in some kind of added, I don't even know, motivation, some kind of added, just a change of culture at the club to try and bring back that mentality. There's a picture on my Twitter. Go follow me on Twitter if you're watching this. On my cover, like you have a cover, the banner thing at the top, and it's a picture of, I think, Ferdinand, Roy Keane, Ronaldo, Rooney, Giggs, and Scholes. I think Scholes, yeah. There's about 6 players, maybe 7 players, and they're all stood in the line. I think it's like a penalty shootout or something like that. And I look at it, and every time I look at the picture, I just think, Everything about those players is what we need in this club right now. First of all, ability. Every single one of those players had world class ability. Every single one. They might not have had it for their whole career, but for most of them, if not all of them, for the majority of their United career, they had world class ability. Then they showed that world class ability. The second thing is mentality. They all had a winning mentality, and not just a winning mentality, they had a mentality of being better. Every single one of them wanted to be better every single season, every single game, every single training session. They wanted to improve. They wanted to be the best version of themselves. Mentality. That's the one thing that I can say about that. The old United teams, the old United players, that was what kept them going. That's why you can win a Premier League 3 years in a row. That's why you can come back every single game, even though like you might have lost one game, even though you might have, I don't know, had a difficult game or whatever, had a difficult season. You come back the next year and that mentality kicks in and you go again. And the last thing is consistency. It's all good having a strong mentality, but if that mentality dies after 2 days, what's the point? You got to have that every single day, every single match, every single, like I said, training session, every single game, every single week, season. And those players had that consistency. They didn't play sick for one season and then all of a sudden it just died off the next season. No, every single season they put in performances after performances and they kept on going. Those players, I'm going to put the picture on the screen, those players had all those three things in abundance. I can't tell you a player in this current United team that I can even put in that picture. Maybe some players might fit in there through ability standpoint. You might have some players that could fit in there through, mentality is a bit of a struggle. I don't know which players could fit in there through mentality standpoint, and consistency. That's a whole nother conversation. But we need to get back to that point. We need players that are going to bring that mentality, bring that consistency, and bring the ability to the team. If we can get 11 players, 15 players, 17 players that all have that, then we'll be back.